Welcome back, everyone, to the Morgan Oxford podcast, where we talk things about education, growth, and global opportunities. My name is Alan Mecha, and I'll be your host for today. Today we'll be answering a very big question: what is the real value of education? With me is the CEO of Morgan Oxford Education, who has helped countless students to their study abroad. I'd like you all to welcome Richard David Moore.
Hello everybody, it's a pleasure to be here today to hopefully give you the benefit of some of my experiences and expertise, and hopefully you'll all be the better for it by the time we finish.
Thank you, Richard, for that brief introduction. So we have some questions for you, Richard, and we would like to hear your thoughts on these questions. Let's start with the basics. When people think of studying abroad, they often imagine just traveling or getting a degree overseas. But from your experience, what is the real value beyond academics?
That's not a simple question to answer, but it's exposure, isn't it? I mean, people benefit from seeing different worlds, different cultures, different education systems, coming into contact with different people. Generally, in my experience, the people that leave are not the people that return back 2 or 3 or 4 years later. They've grown up and they've matured into completely different and usually better individuals. So I think that's it in a nutshell. That having been said, you've got to be very, very careful because sometimes you can make the wrong decision and you may actually be better off staying in the country. So, you've got to have good advice and good words of wisdom from people around you so that you make the right choice.
Thank you very much. Actually, just like you said, the value goes far beyond the classroom. Another question, Richard. You see, some parents worry that it's just an expensive experience. But how do you explain the long benefits of this journey to such parents?
Well, again, that's not an easy question to answer. I mean, traditionally, Nigerian parents will push their children towards certain routes, medicine and law being traditional, and accountancy maybe traditionally are the ones that they go towards. Those are good, honest professions and generally are well paid with good career prospects, and there's nothing wrong with those routes if they're the right route for that particular child. And that I really would emphasise. It's very, very important that the child buys into this as well, because if the child doesn't buy into it, it's a recipe for disaster further along the line, and if you're not careful, you'll find that the money that you expended will be wasted money. And again, that's very, very important. We're not talking about small sums of money here. When one looks at this investment, it's probably second only to the purchase of a house in somebody's life. And so you really need to make sure you get it right from the point of view of the parents' costs, but also get it right from the point of view of the child, because the child's life and child only has one life, and you want to make sure that they get it right.
Because no matter how expensive it is, the long-term benefits far outweighs the gains. That is very correct. Another question, Richard. From your work with students, what kind of transformation have you seen in those who study abroad?
The transformation is usually for the good. You see people go as children and 3, 4 or 5 years later they've been transformed into adults. They've gone from living in the parental home or living in a very secure but privileged boarding school surroundings in Nigeria to being into a UK environment, a university environment where they're mixing with international people. And that exposure radically changes people. All of a sudden their political views are more diverse, their knowledge is wider, they are able to contribute to conversations in a way that perhaps previously they were not able to. And generally they are prepared for life within whatever environment they choose to go into from a work point of view, to enable them to get the best jobs at the best level. So whether or not they stay in Europe or in America or Canada, or they come back to Nigeria, they're coming back hopefully at a higher level than they left. And that, I guess, is one of the big advantages of a good international education.
Another question. From your work with students, what kind of transformation have you seen with those who study abroad?
I've seen people go from being school children to medical doctors, from being school children to being accountants or to being lawyers. The change is clearly enormous. It's not just about the educational advancement and the advancement in terms of qualifications. It's the benefits of exposure, isn't it? All of a sudden, you're in the real world, you're having to look after yourself, you're having to stand on your own 2 feet. The simple things, you have to cook for yourself, you have to prepare your clothes to go out to work every day. You've got to interact with people and you've got to get on with people. I mean, one of the big things about being abroad is that you meet people from different cultures, and ultimately, I think that helps you to deal with people. It possibly therefore helps turn you into a better manager and a better person to deal with any situation that you might come across in your everyday or not everyday life.
Great. Just like you said at the start of this podcast, the people who leave here never come back the same. They always change for the good or even get better to be better humans.
I've got to be careful about that, of course, because I think it was what's his name, Achebe, the Nigerian author, in one of his famous books. I mean, I think you guys are very worried about that to some extent, aren't you? The fact that somebody goes away with, let's say, Nigerian values with African values and comes back with European values is a bit of a concern sometimes as well. I mean, we would hope that the effect of this education is to turn people into better people, but you have to always remember your roots and remember where you are, and then hopefully the people that come back give back. I mean, that's quite important as far as I can see it. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. We don't want a brain drain from Nigeria. We really want to improve the brains and then bring them back to benefit Nigeria, because that's really what would really benefit the country, and that of course would be a very good thing long term.
Exactly, just like you said, it goes around. People who go there, come back, give back, and yes, everyone continues to grow. Despite all these things we've talked about, there will still be some parents who might find it difficult to take this step. What final remarks do you have to people or parents considering the step of studying abroad or sending their kids to study abroad?
Well, it's one of the biggest investments that a parent will make. They're making it in their child or children. They've got to consider very carefully if it's the right step for that particular child. Usually it will be, because the benefits to that child will far outweigh the disadvantages. Occasionally there are reasons why it's not the right step at that particular time, and maybe the child should stay in the country near or with their parents for an extra year or two until they're at the right age or the right time of their lives to make that move. That's up to the parents to work it out. What the parents have got to get is expert advice, and they've got to do their homework, and they've got to do that really, really well. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the only people that know the child or should know the child are the parents. But what the parents are going to do is to go to the right people, the right advisors, to get the right advice. And that's where we come in, I hope. I mean, we sit down with parents, we look at their financial needs, we look at their budgetary requirements, we look at the child, and specifically his academic ability, his interests, his passion or ability for certain sports, his strengths and his weaknesses, because it may well be that depending on those will determine the best country for him to go to, the best course for him to study, the best institution for him to go to. All of those are things that the parents are not going to know the answers to that, because the parents don't do it on an every day-to-day basis like we do. That's what we do. We're the experts, and that's why we need to be involved. What the parents have to do is to take that information away and then apply it to their own circumstances, look at their own financial means, and then work out what is in their best interest and their child's best interest. So what we do, I think, along that way is almost play the game of being devil's advocate, and we work with them to make sure that insofar as we possibly can, that they make the best decision and the best informed decision so that they get it right, because it's a very, very, very crucial decision in their life, their child's life, and they have to get it right.
Exactly. We being who you mentioned, this set of experts. Who are these experts?
Well, we being Morgan Oxford Education, me and the team that work with me, we have some very experienced people from our business development managers, our admissions managers, our counsellors. I mean, they're all people who are doing this on a day-to-day basis. We have many, many, many schools, colleges and universities all over the world that we work with. We know the trends. We understand the different price points. We've got access to all the discounts and financial aid packages and scholarships that exist. And so we are the best people in the best position to help the parents and the children go through this difficult pathway to make sure they come out the other end with the right decisions.
Beautifully said. What can I say? Thank you very much, Richard Morgan, for your time with us. Truly, the value of studying abroad is not just going, but it's definitely the person you become. Thank you. And to every listener out there, remember, your journey to study abroad begins with one decision. With who? Morgan Oxford Education, your pathway to international education.